Good day, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Pain and Performance Podcast. Today, I've got something quite unique for you, but I think y'all are going to like this. A group of my friends from all over the place, all over the country, different countries, has been doing something that we call the 100-Day Challenge for quite a while. And I'm going to kind of share exactly what that is for you. So starting today, September 23rd, there is exactly 100 days left in the year. And for quite a while, we have used this last period to try to achieve something extraordinary or better ourselves in some way. And this came about kind of in an interesting way. We had a few conversations around kind of people improving different areas of their life, of their health. And somebody at some point said something about like, I'll do it next year. And we were like, look, there's a whole quarter of the year left. You're playing 3/4 of the game and then saying, okay, I'm done. And at that point, at somewhere in there, we looked up like, oh, there's actually 100 days left in the year. So we were like, what if you focused all of your efforts for 100 days to achieve this? And in this scenario, it was kind of a business development thing. And that was all your focus was for 100 days. In these constrained situations where we put kind of limits on it, we can do things that we wouldn't otherwise do. And I think there's quite a benefit to doing that. And I'm going to dive into some of the benefits of kind of constraining yourself to this time period, because in those situations, you'll actually kind of clear up a lot of things that would hold you back from doing new activities because you're worried you won't be able to last, or you'll fall off, or you'll burn out if you're doing them open-ended. So that's kind of what the 100-Day Challenge is. The 100-Day Challenge is whatever you want to improve yourself on, whatever you want to get better at, whatever you've been putting off because you're kind of worried about trying it or starting it. The 100-Day Challenge gives you a chance to say, just for a little while, I'm going to focus on achieving that. This could be business, this could be health, this could be wellness, healing, drinking water, learning a new skill. In the last year, I think we had one of the participants learn magic. We've had learn a second language. We had one participant at one point who had tried quite a few different diets and different activities to lose weight. And he said, you know what, for 100 days, this is my sole focus is losing weight. So he put a bike and a treadmill in his living room, and he was like, I will only watch TV if I'm doing cardio. And he would come home, he'd start his day doing cardio. He'd come home on his lunch break doing cardio. At night when they were watching TV, he would do cardio. And look, this was overkill, right? He was intentionally for this 100 days doing something that is not sustainable. And that's sort of the idea. He ended up losing 35 pounds in 100 days. And this is 4 years later, I believe. And he's never put it back on. That 100 days has spiked his health in a fantastic way. And it's not meant to be sustainable. So anybody who's listening like, oh yeah, but you're going to fall off the wagon, but it's meant to be this push that gets you into action, off a plateau, into a whole new category that does bring new challenges, but at least we get there. We've had people who did business development and said, for 100 days, I'm going to reach out to leads. I'm going to post content. I'm going to do all these things. And then for the entire following year, they reap the rewards of this 100-Day Challenge. So it really is something that we get excited about every year, and kind of come up with great ways to challenge yourself. And it's not only a mental challenge or not only a physical challenge, but certainly a mental challenge, because you get to about day 50 and you're like, I feel like I've been doing this for 2 months now, and you're pretty close to that. And you realize you're only halfway there. And so you get to this point where every year I'm really excited to get this started. And then I come to the middle of it and you're starting to get to holidays and you're like, now the real effort begins. Now the struggle starts. But some of the benefits that I see from doing these kind of constrained challenges is that you remove obstacles. So Sarah and I yesterday sat at our kitchen table and we tried to plan out. We're doing something that's like a modified version of the 75 hard, if anybody's done that, where we're going to work out twice a day. We're each going to follow a diet. They're slightly different. We're going to take a a progress picture every day, going to increase water intake, and we are going to abstain from alcohol. I'll tell y'all a secret. We are leaving holidays as an exception to that, just so we don't fall off the wagon completely and then that spiral. But so that's our 100-day challenge. So we're trying to figure out, what do we do? How do we make sure we don't fail at this? And we're looking at our calendar, and look, this is stuff we could have done months ago to make sure that we were both staying consistent with our fitness goals. But since we, didn't have something pushing us to do it, we never did that. And so we sat there, and we've got like a calendar now and a schedule of when each of us is doing our first and second workout. And it just puts you in a position where you remove those obstacles. Like the participant who put the treadmill in the living room, like knowing that he's not doing this for a long time, it gives him the ability to go above and beyond and do some stuff that isn't normal to achieve these goals. So I think it gives you this way to commit to doing an activity in an abnormal intensity that is really, really powerful if you're trying to accomplish some great things. You really push real hard for a little while, and then you can come out of it and kind of get back to your everyday actions. But that power of pushing something beyond what you normally would can really be a huge thing that carries a lot of weight in the future. I forget exactly what author I was listening to, but his pitch was that progress always comes from imbalance. So he was like, all of my major kind of goals came whenever I went all in on these goals for a little while. And I put everything into it for this sharp burst of intensity. And then I come out of it, and I've got a new book that I published, or I've got a new program that I built. And then I get to kind of the steady phase of maintaining that and improving, albeit at like a slower level. The other thing I think that happens whenever you're doing kind of these constrained time challenges is that you don't wait for perfection. You're like, for 100 days, I'm going to get started. I'm going to be working out every day. I don't need the perfect workout program in that. Y'all can go back and listen to the podcast that we've done on how do you build the perfect fitness program. But it's like, just get started and go, because I have this small amount of time that I'm going to be doing this. So it doesn't matter what I do. It's more about the consistency of hitting that time constraint. And we don't need perfection for that. It emphasizes that, like, when we try and do that and plan it, we're like, oh, well, I'm going to wait until I have it planned out. I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till next year. We do all these things that slow down our progress, where if we just need to get started and take action because we're like, today's day 1 of 100 and I got to go, that becomes really, really powerful. So I think it's a very helpful thing to just get us started, get us out of our own way and get started. Another thing that happens whenever we push ourselves to do this is we build discipline in a different way. So for me, one of the big constraints to hitting a daily workout is my schedule has certain days that it's quite difficult for me to get an afternoon workout in. So one of the things I've been putting off is shifting my workout time to the morning. And on this challenge, I've realized that the only way I can hit this consistently for the next 100 days is to do it in the morning, to get a workout each morning and come back and we'll do our afternoon workout together, whether that's a walk, whether that's a jog, whether that's a bike, a swim. Any of these things are going to qualify for us. But knowing that I have to do it, I had to plan around this. So I had to figure out a way to be disciplined and put that in my schedule so that I can achieve this goal. And so I think if it's open-ended and I'm like, I'm going to work out every day in the morning, that's a little difficult for me mentally, even as I say that right now. But can I work out every day in the morning for the next 100 days? Sure, I can. And then I can kind of see where I feel at that point. So it helps you build discipline because you're not building this like open-ended discipline. I'm doing this forever for the rest of my life. It's like, no, but that sounds hard, but I can do this short time frame and I can have the discipline to do that. And that's where this really kind of builds the mental toughness to do it, that will carry you forward beyond whatever the 100-day challenge is. It will carry you much further to do it. And even though you're doing it this short period of time, I promise the discipline and the mental toughness you develop from doing this for a short period of time will give you benefits further into the future. I also think that this creates and pushes you to create a growth mindset. It gets you into, what do I want to grow into at the end of these 100 days? And that can really be a powerful thing, especially if we're dealing with kind of everyday life and we're just going through step by step of like, it's another day, another thing, just make it through. A lot of times we'll forget that, hey, I do want to be getting better. I do want to be growing. And I think that's part of, being why we're here, is to see if we can become our best and what that looks like. It's easy to lose track of that with daily life. It really is. So tapping into that growth of like, here's my 100 days. What do I want to get better at? What do I want to do? And you know what? I think I've failed every year to hit my 100-day challenge goal. Last year, I was doing 10,000 kettlebell swings. So 100 kettlebell swings every day was the goal. And I missed it. I think I probably got to 8,000 or 9,000. I had some travel days where I didn't do kettlebell swings, and then I got behind and was trying to catch up, and then had a back strain because I was doing too many kettlebell swings and had to take a break. But at the end, I went from it being difficult for me to do 100 straight kettlebell swings to, the last week of the year, I could knock out 200 kettlebell swings in 10 minutes with relative ease. So even though I failed, I made so many gains in terms of, what I physically could do. My book is in the final stages of being edited right now. And on the last 2-year 100-day challenges, it was to spend an hour a day working on the book. And I think I missed days, but because of those challenges, the book is in an exponentially different place than it would have been had I not dedicated that time to do it. So that's where I think this becomes a really powerful thing, is that it's for this short period of time, that something that you want to grow in. And even if you fail, you're going to end up in a great position. You're like, what's the whole like shoot for the moon, end up among the stars or whatever. You are trying something that's going to challenge you, and 100 days is right on that edge of being able to do it, but pushing yourself. And it gets tough, especially if it's something that's like, I'm going to consistently do this. So join the 100-day challenge. What do you want to do? How do you detail your own 100-day challenge? Like, what goals do you want to do? What things do you want to learn? How do you want to get better in some sort? Is that physical? Is that mental? Is that reading? Is that you want to, learn a new language? Do you want to, try to, get in better shape, lose weight, heal something, work on healing our health in a way, drink more water, improve your diet? A good friend of mine who actually kind of runs the Facebook group that we run through this, Pablo Rosario, check him out. He's got some amazing programs on relationships and social health. But he put together this kind of question to help you answer, what should your 100-day challenge be? So, list all your possible ideas, goals, and things that you could come up with over the next 100 days. Meditation, working out, posting on social media, anything that follows in these, that comes to mind, that follows in this program that you could improve, or a goal you could set up. What process are you going to commit to mastering is another question you can ask yourself. Am I going to try and improve the process of making sales, becoming a great DJ, making YouTube videos, generating attraction of the opposite sex, whatever that process is? What do you want to master over this time frame? What areas of your life are important to you right now? I think that's a great question. What do you want to focus on? Is it health? Is it relationships? Is it money? Any of these things you could create a 100-day challenge around that area that's important, or an area that you are maybe not paying enough attention to right now is another one that, hey, I've really put a lot into business lately, but my relationships are suffering. I want to create a 100-day challenge around that. What area or how do you list 3 behaviors or traits that will keep you from achieving your goals? So how do you improve the chances that you achieve your 100-day challenge? So are you inconsistent? Do you have times where you're unreliable, you're easily distracted, you break your word to yourself, you give in to going towards comfort rather than leaning into the discomfort of doing these activities? What do you want to, or who do you want to be at the end of the 100 days? So what does it look like if you change those things? It's usually the opposite of number 5. So being inconsistent or unreliable. At the end of this, I want to be consistent. I want to have hit my consistency. I want to be reliable. I want to, always show up when I say I'm going to show up. So, and then what do I want to be doing at the end of the 100 days? Am I spending more time in my relationship, spending more time in sales or my business? Am I working out? Am I generating new ideas and implementing them? Am I creating more content, etc.? So, what do I want to be doing? And I think if you work through some of those questions, you'll come up with quite a good answer of what you should do for your 100-day challenge. And it can be kind of a combination of things, but this gives us all a way where a lot of people this time of year throw away their goals, their health goals, their financial goals, their business goals. They're like, the year's almost over. We're getting to the holidays. That's a wrap. Let's just shut it down. I want to always do what most other people are not doing. And this time of year, most people are not trying to get better. They're not trying to get healthier. They're not trying to improve their businesses or their relationships. They're, really just kind of coasting to the end of the year and shutting things down. And it's a great time where we really could do the opposite and make a lot of gains in growth in whatever area you come up with on your own 100-day challenge. So that's what the 100-day challenge is. Today's day 1. Sorry, I'm getting this out a little bit late to you, but check it out. If you are going to join us for the 100-day challenge, hit me up on social media, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. You can let us know what your 100-day challenge is. So make a social post, hashtag 100-day challenge. I would love to see what these challenges are, what you come up with. Make a post on any of the channels, and what I'll do is on some of these next podcasts, I'll read out some of the 100-day challenges, and we can kind of keep everybody accountable for doing some of those things. So I wanted to share that with you. That's something that we're starting and getting into. And also, we've got part of my 100-day challenge. We've got some amazing podcasts coming up. Please make sure you're sharing the show. Make sure you're sending that text message to somebody. Hey, check this out. Check out the 100-day challenge, and have them subscribe and tell them we're going to be throwing out some amazing health content. Stay tuned next week for some very interesting information on mold toxicity in your health. And we'll continue our series on improving strength and how muscle mass can affect your health dramatically, and how possibly muscle should be something that we think about as a lead domino for many, many health issues. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, we'll have the part 2 coming out here very shortly. So have a great day. Let me know what your 100-day challenge is, everybody. I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to dive into the 100-day challenge this year and see what we can accomplish. So I hope that helps you out there. Have a great day. Have a good 100-day challenge, everybody. Let's close this year out on an amazing note. Have a great day.